Washington just admitted the economy is shrinking, the border crisis is worse than they'll admit, and now they're cutting programs while pretending everything's fine. But here's the truth they don't want you to hear, and it changes everything. Stick around, because this is the breakdown they hope you'll miss.
Bill that cuts $20 to $30 million from Nevada's children behavioral health services over the next 5 years. These cuts will hurt kids in foster care or with serious mental health needs, including programs that provide family therapy, crisis response, and care coordination. Much of Nevada's Medicaid is paid for, much of Nevada's program is paid for by Medicaid, and it's carried out in partnership with the Administration for Children and Families. Given these cuts, what steps will ACF take in coordination with CMS to sustain its and help sustain Nevada and really across the country behavioral health programs for children in foster care?
Senator, well, a couple things. I would first note that the Medicaid cuts, I would reiterate what the administration has said. The intention is not to have any impact on the core constituency. But it is. So what do you intend to do to help us address those cuts and make sure that we're not having an impact, negative impact on our kids, both in foster care, but also their behavioral health? Yeah, so Senator, the way I view my role is I have about 60 programs assigned to me. I want to skillfully administer those. Within foster care in particular, I think an area to lean into is the 4E prevention services, where it is an additional source of funding available to states to provide effective prevention for substance use disorders, mental health, and related things. I want to make sure that there's no red tape and that states are able to build out robust prevention plans so that there are services available to families at risk of entering foster care. Okay, so if confirmed, you'll commit to using all available ACF tools and working with CMS to help Nevada sustain its children's behavioral health services? Senator, CMS is a separate operating unit that doesn't fall under the jurisdiction of ACF. I do see my role as working closely with Dr. Oz and CMS. Good, that's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear. I only have so much time. Let me move on here. You've had a lot of conversations with my colleagues about Head Start because this administration has really taken an axe to Head Start and blocking nearly $1 billion in approved, let me just say approved by this Congress in a bipartisan way, Head Start funding this year. And you've talked about the Secretary's position on Head Start, which is he wants to have a better, brighter, make it better and brighter by the end of his term. What does better and brighter mean? I'm confused. Senator, I have not had conversations with the Secretary about that, so I'm operating off of publicly available information as the nominee. What would you bring to that conversation of better and brighter? How do you think it could be better and brighter? I think the congressional justification submitted with the budget hits nail on the head. More parental engagement, better nutrition, more of a focus on healthy lifestyle. I think there's quite a few things that can be done to improve Head Start. The thing that excites me about ACF is how all of these programs work together. And I saw a study that Head Start engagement reduces participation in the child welfare system by 93%. So I think creating synergies across ACF programs is something that I'm really going to focus on. Thank you. Thank you. I only have a minute left. Mr. McKiernan, let me ask you this. Do you believe tariffs are a tax?
Senator, I'm nominated for the role of domestic finance. The tariff and trade policies outside my domain.
You don't have a position on where tariffs are a tax? You're going to be in the Department of Treasury.
Senator, I intend to stick to my role here at domestic finance if I'm confirmed.
Do you believe that is important for the Federal Reserve to set interest rates independent of any interference from Congress or the President, even if the politicians and pundits are unhappy with monetary policy?
Senator, as the Secretary said last night, monetary independence is a cornerstone of our economic prosperity.
So according to Commerce Department estimates, our nation's real GDP fell by 0.5% in the first quarter of 2025. This marks a sharp drop from the 2.5% positive growth rate in Q4 of 2024, and it's the first time the American economy has contracted in 3 years. Are you concerned, given these troubling economic growth indicators, that it is a bad time now to be running up the federal deficit by trillions of dollars?
Senator, I'm very optimistic about the path of the American economy. The President's leading on a pro-growth agenda, and I'm very, very excited to be a part of that.
Welcome back to Jace Manhwa. Before we dive in, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a breakdown of what's really happening in Washington. Now, I just finished watching this Senate hearing, and I've got to tell you, It's another perfect example of how out of touch some of our leaders are when it comes to protecting our children, our families, and our economy. Senator Cortez Masto was grilling Dr. Adams about the number of missing unaccompanied minors who cross the border, and while Dr. Adams promised to provide data if it's available, we've seen this game before. Promises of transparency usually disappear the second they get comfortable in office. Americans deserve straight answers, not bureaucratic dodges. Then we have the issue of the reconciliation bill. Democrats want to spin this as a Republican attack on children, claiming it cuts $20 to $30 million from Nevada's behavioral health services. But what they won't admit is that government programs have been failing these kids for years. Throwing more taxpayer money into a broken system doesn't solve the root of the problem. What we need are real reforms that hold these agencies accountable and empower states, parents, and communities, not Washington insiders who live off endless funding increases. When the conversation turned to Head Start, Senator Masto complained about the administration blocking nearly $1 billion in funding. But let's be honest, Head Start has been around for decades, and yet the education gap is bigger than ever. Dr. Adams talked about wanting to make the program better and brighter, with parental engagement and nutrition programs, which sounds nice, but until we deal with the bloated federal bureaucracy, these programs will keep producing the same mediocre results. And then there's Mr. McCarran. When asked about tariffs, he dodged the question. Tariffs are a tool, not a tax. They protect American industries and workers from being crushed by foreign competitors who cheat the system. But once again, instead of defending American jobs, these officials dance around the issue because they're too afraid to speak the truth. Finally, we get to the economy. The GDP fell by 0.5% in the first quarter of 2025. That's the first contraction in 3 years. And what do we hear from the administration? Empty optimism. They say they're excited about a so-called pro-growth agenda while running up trillions in new spending and debt. You don't fix a slowing economy by maxing out the nation's credit card. You fix it by unleashing American energy, cutting wasteful spending, and putting America first. This hearing just proves what we've been saying all along. Washington is out of touch with everyday Americans. They'll talk in circles, pat themselves on the back, and hope nobody notices that our border is a disaster, our kids are being left behind, and our economy is sliding in the wrong direction. But we see it, and we're not buying it. If you're tired of the same old excuses, if you believe in secure borders, a strong economy, and a government that works for the people, not against them, stick with us. Like this video, subscribe to Jace Manhwa, and share this with someone who needs to hear the truth. We're not backing down. We're just getting started.